Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 15 of the Renegade of Wrestling. I am your host, JJ Williams, back after a 2-week hiatus. I apologize for the lag in videos. Me and Jeff, we both posted it up on our Facebooks, letting y'all know that we've been out there making moves, trying to make events happen where y'all can come out and hang out with us, trying to get t-shirts lined up. We've actually got a couple submissions of logos. We're going to be going through some more, putting them up there on our Facebooks for you guys, our fans, to be voting on for the Renegade of Wrestling. I'm going to have my own shirt. And then the joint one we're doing with Jeff, we're going to have some Dads of Wrestling shirts, all for you guys to vote on. So again, I apologize for the lag in shows. Here to get back down to business. First things first, last week in wrestling television was actually a pretty boring week. Overall, I say TNA Impact was the better show, with Mick Foley coming out as the network, Chyna debuting as Kurt Angle's mistress to help put the boots to Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett. All around, TNA Impact was actually just the better show last week, with all those surprises that came. Raw, pretty boring, pretty standard fare. Miz is the #1 contender over Alberto and Rey Mysterio. Kind of would like to have seen Alberto versus Cena, but rumor is they're holding off on that until SummerSlam, which will be live at the Staples Center. I'll be at, a lot of the crew will be at, so you'll be able to check us out there for sure. But, Rey Mysterio versus John Cena, that would have been good too. Something a little different. See if Cena could hang with Mysterio. Granted, Mysterio's knees are kind of fucked up, and he's not the Mysterio he was 15 years ago. That Rey Mysterio from 15 years ago, John Cena couldn't see him. Seriously. But The Miz and John Cena, I'm already starting to get tired of it. Miz is going to job, obviously, because, it's an I quit match. John Cena doesn't say I quit. Unless they go Rock Mankind. Something to think about. Unless they pipe that in over the PA like they did back in the day, John Cena's not going to say I quit. Match of the week, I think, was Daniel Bryan versus Sin Cara from SmackDown. Awesome match. Second, Bryan Danielson. Daniel Bryan's his slave name. Granted, Bryan Danielson had to job out to Sin Cara, but that's to be expected. Sin Cara's getting the huge push, raising him on up the ladder there, getting him into that main event spot. Daniel Bryan's just kind of chilling in the mid-card. But awesome match. Whew, that was a lot that I just went through in a couple minutes there. Let's see. The pay-per-view. We just had the TNA pay-per-view on Sunday. Nothing huge to report there. No titles changed hands. Kurt Angle finally got a victory over Jeff Jarrett thanks to having Chyna with him. Mickie James retained her title over Madison, which now releases Victoria. Granted, they didn't go with the ending that I personally would like to have seen for the match, but Tara is now free and free to compete again in the Knockouts division, free to try and get the title back. Doesn't have to deal with Madison's bullshit anymore. So that's a huge plus. Yesterday, the whole crew, freaking Double A, Stat Boy, Mr. TW, Jeff Meacham, myself, even the moms on wrestling, all rolled out to Hollywood for the NWA Championship Wrestling tapings. Awesome matches. If you guys have not gotten the message yet, me and Jeff totally support the NWA. You guys need to shell out your $15 every month. Go to the Regent Showcase Theater, purchase your ticket, and watch these fucking matches. If you don't live in SoCal and you can't make it, NWAHollywood.com. Look it up. Watch the episodes online. And as an added bonus now, they've even got the Grill 'Em All truck that's been coming out there. Huge burgers. Awesome burgers. I had the Samoa Joe burger with cheddar cheese, onions, pineapples, and barbecue sauce. Killer. Double A had him the Behemoth. The Behemoth is so big, the buns are fucking grilled cheese sandwiches. Just throwing that out there, people. And as a bonus, buy a burger off the truck, save $5 off your admission, making it even more worth your time. But we had a blast out there. Be on the lookout on TV for all you SoCal locals, KDOC. Be on the lookout on TV for Davina Rose versus Buggy. Be on the lookout for Joey Ryan versus Brandon Parker. Be on the lookout for Colt Cabana versus Todd Chandler. Be on the lookout for Chaos versus Willie Mack. And of course, match of the night, 2 out of 3 falls tag team action. The Rock Nest Monsters versus the Cutler Brothers. You guys need to make sure you check all those matches out. That match was fucking sick. They took it into the street and threw one of the dudes into a car. A moving, stopped for a second, but moving vehicle. I haven't seen that since the early 90s when freaking Shawn Michaels and Kurt Hennig were fighting out in the middle of the street. It's just craziness. So, get on the NWA bandwagon. It is still early. Next month, June 5th, is going to be the next set of tapings. Most of the crew will probably be out there. Don't know if the moms will make it on the next one or not, but the majority of the crew will probably be out there for that one. Keep you posted in the coming months. This Sunday is going to be Over the Limit on pay-per-view. Be on the lookout for a special episode. Myself and Jeff, possibly even the Lady Killer, giving you our predictions again this month as to what we think is going to happen at the pay-per-view. Hopefully to be coming from you live from the Long Beach Clothing Company. We'll find out what happens if I can ever get the phone call back from the homie Kenji to see if we're all good to go. Question time. I actually got a question. I think this is only like the second or third one that I've answered on the show so far, because most of the questions or topics that we get are suggested for dads on wrestling. But one of my Facebook friends, Warren Mapp, wanted to know what I think should be brought back. What match or gimmick or idea do I think should come back? And even though it's kind of sort of back in a half-ass state, I'd like to see return to a monthly pay-per-view, The King of the Ring. I think there's enough talent there now that could do a solid tournament for that big push that the King of the Ring used to provide. When guys like Owen Hart, Steve Austin, Triple H, Kurt Angle all won the tournament and then went from the tournament to being huge stars in the company. Brock Lesnar. I think you've got your John Morrisons, Drew McIntyres, Cody Rhodes. Who else you got? Daniel Bryan. You've got enough guys there now that could fill out a huge, awesome tournament and really, really make it worthy of being a pay-per-view quality affair again. Another thing I'd like to see brought back, probably going to get a little bit of grief for this because this is a WCW thing and it was from a movie, but I'd like to see the triple cage come back that was used in Ready to Rumble. I think if used sparingly and not beaten to death like the Hell in a Cell had become, like the Chamber is starting to become, I think if used sparingly would be a hell of a match to cap off a very heated feud. It's like, where can you go after Hell in a Cell? The triple cage. Something to think about. That's about it for this week that I've got to talk about. So hopefully we will see you guys next week on this week on Dads on Wrestling, when we give you a brand new episode. And be sure to be on the lookout for us this Sunday at Over the Limit. We're going to be at National Sports Grill watching the pay-per-view. Me, Jeff, Lady Killer. We're all going to be there. National Sports Grill in Torrance, California. Look it up. Be on the lookout for the dads. And we'll see you this coming week with a brand new dads, and I'll see you next week with a brand new Renegade. See you around.